So now that we're up to the timing belt, we're going to leave the intake off so we could have a lot of movement with this harness to keep it out the way. We have both drive belts off. We have taken off the motor mount bracket over here. We have taken off all the 10 millimeters to the top timing cover. And now we have exposed the timing belt, as you can see here. So now we're going to take it up top and I'm going to show you what else we need to do. So we ran into some issues getting the power steering belt off. This bolt would not loosen at all, and I had to put some Chinese hot wrench on this one. So we took that one out, and I may have to work this a little bit more because the timing belt tensioner bolt, that's one and the other one is behind this. So yeah, I'm going to have to figure that out. But yeah, so we're going to have to get also our CSW special tool, aka our block of wood. I take this bolt out here, or this nut off, giggity, and I take the two nuts out of here so we could tilt the motor and get better access. So let's get that done. Alright, so we got both timing covers off, the crank pulley off. We compressed our timing belt tensioner over here, and we put a grenade pin, an old one that I had in the toolbox. So now we're going to take this cover off here, and we're going to see that it's slightly shaped differently. So you want the tapered edge facing outward, because if you face it inward, it's only going to chew into the timing belt. So I'll put that there for now. Now for the timing of the timing belt. You see that little dot right there? Little dot that's on that tooth? Well, that's a timing mark that's on this sprocket. This sprocket is what the crank position sensor gets its signal from. Now if you look closely, right there on the engine block, there's a little nubbin right there. Giggity. You want that dot lined up with that little nubbin. Now, let's put the car back down and I'll show you where you want the cams to be lined up with. Because everything lines up. And when everything's lined up, it's top dead center, it's in safe mode, then you could remove the tension off the timing belt and remove the timing belt. So let's take it back down and I'll show you guys those marks. So now that we have the car back down, I'm going to show you the cam marks, guys. Now, you see that little tip right there? You see that little line right there? You want those to line up. So now we know for a fact that this engine is in safe mode. The back cam has the same thing. Can't really see it from here. Oh yeah, there it is. I don't know if you can see it from here, guys, but there's a white line right here, and then there's a little divot right there, and you want that to line up too. Now we could take that timing belt off. We know for a fact we could take it off very safely. Big tip, guys, make sure those lines are all lined up before you take this timing belt off, or you're gonna have a very bad day. So now that we got the T-belt out of there, these studs right here are a biatch to get out. This one I was able to break free with the Torx. This one I wasn't able to. I had to use a stud extractor. And whenever you use a stud extractor, especially when you're going to reuse the bolt, you don't want to get the extractor on the threads. You want to actually put it on the neck of the bolt, higgity, where there either are no threads or there are no threads that will be used. So now we broke this one free. We'll get that one out. We already got this one out. To get the water pump out, there's a trick. You don't have to take the cam gears out. You just take this 10 here and this 10 here out. Give this backing plate a little pry, then we'll be able to get it out. I'll show you that in a little bit. Alright, let's see, did I get all the bolts out? I think I did. Oh, no, that's a wah-wah. Oh. Alright, so as you can see, can't get the water pump out. Get our little pry bar in here. Let's give that a little pry. Get that little pry. Oh, look, we came out. Look at that. Imagine that. It worked. And our leak. Yep. Right out of the weep hole. Very good. That's out. Don't forget, there's a gasket here, guys. You want to replace that. Same action. Give it a little pry. Get that out. Come on. There we go. And we're out. You know what? We're going to put our tools away, go home, and start fresh in the morning, guys. So here we have the timing belt and the water pump out. We're going to have to clean and prep the surface for the new water pump gasket. Also, you see this dot right here on the cam gear, excuse me, on the crank sprocket, right there. That's a very important dot. That's our alignment mark for the timing belt. I'll show you that in a little bit. Okay guys, here's my water pump trick of the day. This is the water pump gasket. This is the brand new one. You see this little guy right here? I'm just going to cut it off. Just going to give it a little trim. Just a little trim. So now we don't have to take the timing gears off or any of that or any of the timing sprockets to install the water pump gasket and to install the water pump. So let's get this on. Let's get that on too. Let's get it on in there. It just falls right in. You'd have to struggle right there, but now we're not struggling. Let's get up in there. Right there. Now the gasket's in. Let's get the water pump in. Come on. It's a lot easier coming out than going in, guys. Yeah, that is okay. Oh, there we go. Alright. Just had to give it a little wiggle, a little pry, and it gets in there. Very good. Let's get the hardware in there and torque it to spec. Torque specification is 8 Newton meters, guys. Oh, move the camera. Oh, that one went a little over, but I don't think I got this one. There we go. And the middle one over here. Very good, and then I like to recheck them all, guys, in a circle pattern. So, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's see. Very good. All torque to spec. Okay guys, here we have the timing belt, OEM. We have a dotted line here. We have a solid line here. And we also have a solid line here. The two solid lines are the two cam gears. The dotted line is the crank gear. So it's really hard to mess up. It's very easy to mess up at the same time, but if you follow the markings on the belt, you freaking Goombas, you'll be fine. So let's put the timing belt in. Hey guys, alright, so we're up to putting the T-belt on, and here is a very, very important tip, guys. You see those arrows right there? Those arrows are very, very important, because when you put the timing belt on, you want those arrows facing away from the front of the engine. So let's put the timing belt on, starting with the crank sprocket. See how we have the dotted line with the dot right there? That's what we have to do to line the mark up. Now I'm going to show you the trick I do to keep the belt there while I route it onto the front bank. Alright. Dotted line, guys. The dot on the crank right there. Don't forget, arrows pointing away from the vehicle. Now we hold this like that, and here's my trick. I'll grab my little vice grips right here. Well, they're not that little, but you just want to hold the belt firm enough. Give it a quick twist. Now that'll hold. Now we could lower the vehicle and route the timing belt on the front bank. Always start with the front bank first.